Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Randall Crow. I am the product application specialist for Hex Small and Hex Medium here in Europe. Today we're going to talk about small excavators, but before I get into that, I'll introduce my colleague here, Frank Verdugo. Frank is a professional demonstrator instructor here at Malaga Demonstration Learning Center. Frank's going to help me talk about small excavators today. Frank, thank you.
Thank you.
Frank's going to hop off into the cab of the 315. So let me just give you an overview of what you're about to see. So we have small excavators. Everybody's probably very familiar with that F-Series small excavator. But what we've done is we've taken that 20-ton excavator, that next generation excavator, the things that we launched 3 years ago, we, Caterpillar dealers, and we have been wildly successful with that 20-ton next generation excavator. So we have taken those positive attributes, extended them down the line to the 13-ton and 18-ton size class small excavator. So now we have that ready for you guys. We want to give you a little walk around and talk about those products. So follow me if you will. Let's take a look. So what I'd like for you to understand is we have the small excavator family. Okay, we have the lineup. But inside that family, we have two families. We have the performance family and we have the GC family. And I want to talk about that for a moment, okay? So with the performance lineup, you have three machines. You have the 313, the 315 CR, and the 317 high performance models. The second family, or the other family, the GC models, the GC family, you have the 313 GC, the 315 CR GC, and the 317 GC. So within that small excavator next generation lineup, two families. And there's a reason for that. We talk about choice and we talk about value with these families to give that to you, our end customers, okay? So these are some things we'll talk about now as I switch into and talk about those performance models first, the 13, the 315, and the 317. There's a couple of takeaways, about three takeaways when you think about those performance machines. One is exactly that, performance, high performance. Second, lowering your owning and operating costs. Very, very important for you, of course. And last but not least, I like to call it the big enchilada, the full suite of technology that was on that 20-ton excavator down into the small excavator. So we have those three things available. You think about, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Performance, high performance. Well, with the new electro-hydraulic pump and valves that we have available, that's built into the DNA of that product. So you have 14% more drawbar pull, 10% more swing torque. So on the job, we heard you talk about that F-Series. F-Series, good product, small excavator, but it's reached that product life cycle, the end, and now we have the next generation extenuation of that 20-tonner. So you have that high performance. It's faster, better breakout force with your bucket. If you're half a day loading trucks, you're going to be much more quicker and efficient on the job site so you can do other tasks. And so speaking of the high performance capability of the small excavators, that performance model, the other aspect I want to bring to your attention is inside the cab, you can select power, echo, and smart on the key fob, on the fob. So what do I mean by that? So you can adjust that dial depending on the task at hand in the application that you're working on. So your engine, RPM, and your hydraulic power will be matched to that task at hand on the job site. So if you're in a very aggressive, hard, rough surface on the job site, you're going to switch that mode up to power mode. So you're going to have the power, and the engine RPM and the hydraulic power will be matched to that task, as I said. If it's a very light application, you got clay, it's very light, so you can dial it back either to smart or echo. Again, this is going to affect the engine RPM as well as going to affect the hydraulic power. So again, that fuel is matched and the capability of your machine is matched to that application. So you're saving fuel, which leads me into that owning and operating costs. So you're going to be burning less fuel versus that old F-Series, up to 10-15% less fuel. You're also going to have extended fluids and filters on the machine. So we've extended that life of the fluids and filters, so you're not changing them every 500 hours. Those have been extended out substantially. Again, saving you on the owning and operating costs. And last but not least, you heard me mention it earlier, the ease of use features, this full suite of technology built into the product of these next generation small excavators. Cat grade control, 2D, 3D. Payload, so the CPM as we call it, cat payload measurement. So measuring the weight on a job site when you're loading trucks all day. E-fence, so when you're in tight quarters, we have the E-fence capability, E-swing, E-wall, E-fence, E-floor. So we have that capability, that technology built into the DNA of this product. Last but not least is what we call the TRS, the tilt rotator solution built in. So now you have the tilt rotator available ex-factory, so you're not out looking for the third party to assemble, to install. It's not going to cost you additional time and effort and money, of course, to install that third-party tilt rotator. You'll be able to take it ex-factory. Should make our friends in Scandinavia much happier, makes us much happier, okay? So those are the performance models. I'll stick to the performance models because right behind me, I have the 315 CR compact radius. You saw Frank Verdugo earlier. Frank's in that cab. You heard me talk a little bit about efficient. You know, that technology built into our products, the ease of use technology, makes your operators on the job site more efficient. Sometimes up to 45% more efficient. That's a significant improvement. But it's just not about getting into the cab, getting on the sticks, as we like to call them, the joysticks, and then start operating, and immediately you're 45% more efficient. It's a little bit more than that. And Frank's here in the cab with me. This is a compact radius, so you know it's really a little bit tighter quarters, but what I want to talk about is Frank's, you saw him probably get up in that cab. Frank's very comfortable, which also gives him confidence, and we talk about comfort and confidence in just a second. So Frank, can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, man.
Right next to you. So compact radius 315, I know you've operated it quite a bit. If you think about that F-Series, Frank, and then hopping into the new next generation, probably a little bit more room getting into that cab.
Yeah, I mean, the cab is something really obvious, I would say. We've got better access getting in and out due to the raising armrest, let's say. Another thing I also like about the next gen excavators, we have all the adjusting points for the operator. They're in yellow, so the operator can easily identify what can be adjusted on the seat. Another thing I really like about it, again, this is a next gen cab. Again, we have larger glass pieces, so I have better visibility no matter which way I look. If I look at the sunroof, to the right, I've got better access and better visibility. It's same to the back. I have a larger window, so I've got better visibility all the way around.
Plus, I think most operators on the job site love the moonroof or the sunroof, depending on what time of day it is.
Day shift or night shift.
Day shift or night shift. But it's a much larger space up front, up top for you. So just giving you that complete feel of visibility. So you see the cab, as Frank said, it's a next gen cab. You know, we saw that you know, on that F-Series, good product, but it was quite tight getting in, getting out. I mean, you're up to about 30 centimeters extra space hopping up into that cab, making it more comfortable. You heard me talk about comfort and confidence. Let's talk about confidence. So the ease of use features built into the DNA of this product. So Frank is adept at using the ease of use features. As I said, cat grade control, payload, E-fence, and so forth. So Frank, just let me ask you that question about confidence on the job site. So you're comfortable, you know, you want to be comfortable, but then confidence, using some of these ease of use features. What does that mean for you?
I mean, it's going to improve my production and my efficiency. First of all, I'm going to be more comfortable, but at the same time, I'm going to also be confident I'm doing a finished job the first time. So in the past, I needed a surveyor. If I started to dig a trench, I wasn't sure, I wasn't 100% sure if I was at the correct grade. So I would tend to slow down, for example, or wait for my grade checker to come up to me and tell me if I'm at the correct depth. Now with, for example, assist or the cat grade control with assist, I'm confident I'm doing the finished job for the first time, so I'll get it right the first time. Another example, the CPM. These machines are typically loading road trucks. So road trucks, you don't want to overload them because you could get a fine if they go out on the road. And using the CPM, we're confident we're not overloading or underloading the truck.
Right.
We
so
can maximize.
Yeah, the payload just takes out the guesswork.
Correct, the guesswork. We eliminate the guesswork.
So it makes you more efficient, you're quicker, you're more comfortable, you're more confident.
Correct.
So you're just speeding it up, knowing that you're going to do the job right the first time and not have to go back and say, oh, I overloaded the truck, you know.
Correct. And being able to go to the second job quicker, so making more money.
There you go. All right. So talking about the ease of use features, your operators are going to be more confident and more comfortable in the cab. And Frank's going to hop out of the cab, speaking of that. Still talking about the performance models, the 313, the 315 CR, compact radius, and the 317. And just to give you a quick overview, again, of the product. So the commonality that has been taken down from the 20-ton excavators that we launched 3 years ago, that next generation lineup, down to the small excavator, it's basically the same. So this is an extreme advantage with you, our customers, when you've ordered that 20-tonner and now you're coming down to the small excavator. It's no different. You can go, you can look, you can see. Frank's going to open up here on the left-hand side. You see it's the same compartment. You got the oil filters on this side. Excuse me, air filter. Quick, easy access. Frank, I know I'm not tall, you're not very tall, but from the ground floor here, we have easy access.
Easily to the filter. I could even clean these lights if I get on my tiptoes. So
you got the battery, cold start. I think we got the two batteries there. So very easy to get into the guts of the machine from the ground level. And it's the same on the 320, it's the same on the 317, it's the same on the 315 GC. Okay? Okay, we walk around, obviously counterweight, 3.7 ton counterweight, 3.8 ton counterweight. And you come on the right-hand side, again the same, the commonality of our machines of the next gen. You got your fluids, filters here. You can see very easy to access hydraulic fluid, the fluids and filters. We got the hydraulic filter system, very easy to access. Frank, I know as an operator, on a daily tasks, it's quite good that you're not having to climb all over the machine.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's the nice thing I like about these small excavators, or we also have on our medium size. For example, there's no need for me to go on the upper platform for my daily checks, which is on a daily basis, obviously. So for example, I've got my engine oil dipstick, same as we have on the 20-ton excavators. At ground level, I've also got my spyglass for the hydraulic oil level. And again, I can do all my daily checks as from ground level. So no need to climb on top. I'm going to be safer.
And again, as I've said earlier, that's a valid point, Frank. We've also extended the life of our fluids and filters. So again, thinking about those owning and operating costs for you on the job site, extremely important for you, extending that life, helping you in the pocketbook. So ease of use features, owning and operating costs. Also, we talked about being comfortable. Frank indicated from the cab, much better visibility. On the right-hand side, we've lowered the tank, the fuel tank here, as well as the DEF. Frank's got the DEF here. So, so just the tank itself, a little bit better design. I think, Frank, it opens up to the side.
Correct, it opens sideways. This is also lowered a bit, so it's easier for the operator also to climb up if he had to climb up. So we have better access to the machine itself, to the upper platform, if we had to climb up.
Yeah, the DEF compartment, anything below 55 kilowatt, you need DEF. Anything above 55 kilowatt, excuse me, I got that backwards. DEF is for anything above 55 kilowatt, below 55, you don't need it. Okay? So here you have camera. So you have the right-hand side camera that comes standard as well as in the back. You can order the 360 camera. It's an option depending on if you want or not. Okay? Just as we move forward, the 315. A lot of times here in Europe, we do have the 315 compact radius with a blade. So a blade attachment. You have some options there on the job site using the 315. You have a 2.5 meter blade, 2.6 meter blade, and 2.7 meter blade. Many times also you'll see the boom of a 315 compact radius machine. This is a reach boom. but many times you'll see the VA boom, variable angle boom. What that does is, I like to say, it shrinks your machine when you're in very, very tight quarters. Frank, I think as an operator, giving you that flexibility with that VA boom.
Yes, I mean, especially on the compact radius, we tend to end up in tighter areas due to we have a compact radius. So as you just mentioned, the VA boom gives the operator a lot of flexibility to be able to swing in a tighter area. So for example, with the VA boom, I could position the bucket on top of the cab if for some reason I could not swing around. So it gives me a lot more flexibility, especially with a compact radius. So it's a very good feature.
Yeah, and so again, this is the reach boom, which is fine. The reach boom comes with the 3-meter stick as well as a 2.5-meter stick, and the VA boom here on the 315 is a 2.2-meter stick or 2.5-meter stick. Okay, a couple of options. So high performance, we talked about that at length. Let me switch gears into the GC family. We have the 317 GC behind you. I'm going to start walking that way, so come with me. Let's check it out. Let me explain what the GC model is, and different part of the family. Same product lineup, small excavators, next generation. So I walk back here to the 317 GC. I'll stand here, let me just give you the overview. So we talked about high performance. Now let's talk GC. What does that mean? You know, there were 3 takeaways there on the high performance. We talked about really high performance, owning and operating costs, and the ease of use technology, the full suite of technology. On the GC model, we're talking about reliable, durable, and fuel competitive. Those are the 3 takeaways on the GC model. What does that mean? So GC model, economical and reliable, economical and durable. So think about it. If you just purchased a performance machine, high performance machine, maybe your economic situation, you're not looking to purchase at that high end again. Depending on your economic situation, as I said, then that GC model could come in and support on the job site. So when I say support, depending on what your job site is, what is the application you're going to be working in? You may not need the high performance at all times. So we've got the GC model. The GC model can fit and come in and perform tasks maybe as a support machine or a utility machine, not necessarily built for thousands and thousands of hours a year, but you're going to be using it 800 hours a year, 500 hours a year. The GC fits perfectly. In terms of the performance, think of an F-series performance at a lower value prop, okay? So you're getting that F-series performance, say the 316 or the 318F, at a lower value prop. So what does that mean? So if you're coming in on the job site and you're going to purchase that GC model, and you've just purchased a performance model, say if the performance model is at 100, your GC model is going to be on average in Europe around a 90. So you can see the difference in the value prop and the positioning of that machine and where you would position it on your job site. Okay? So you heard me talk about owning and operating costs with the performance machines. It's the same topic all the way down the line from the 20-ton machine to our small excavators, our 13 to 18 ton. We've extended the life of the fluids and filters. We've given you easy access to the machine from ground level. So that's what we talk about. And in terms of fuel, very fuel competitive, up to 15% less fuel than the F-Series, from the F-Series product, okay? The thing we hit on earlier with the GC model, we hit on, on the performance model, the GC model, Frank, you said it earlier, was commonality. So if we look at the GC, what particularly comes out when you first see it?
So as you mentioned, what I really like about the GC is its commonality with the normal next-gen excavator. So just for an example, if I look at the boom and stick, I see the plates where the IMU sensors would be on a standard machine. So the boom and stick are coming the same. It could be for a standard machine or for a GC. So we're not going cheap, let's say that way. Another thing that I find is common is the cab itself. So on the previous GC model, so the 313F GC, for example, we had a D-series cab on it. So I'm not saying that the D-series cab was bad, but this one has the standard cab for, doesn't matter if it's a GC or a standard model.
It's a next generation cab.
Correct, so it's common, it's a common along the whole range.
So if you just jumped out of the 320 and came over and jumped in the 317 GC.
It's just exactly the same cab,
Same
yeah.
exact cab. And in terms of a walk around, Frank?
Again, the same that we mentioned on the standard machines. We have all the ground access levels for the operator. So again, we have the same, the battery compartment, the master key, the engine air filters. On the other side, we have exactly the same as what we had on the other one. So I can still do my ground level checks on a daily basis.
Every morning you're coming out to check the machine.
Correct. Just because it's a GC doesn't mean we're not looking at safety. So we're still trying to keep a safe environment for the operator that we can.
And so the familiarity is there with you as well. So if you hopped out of the 20-ton or you hopped out of the 17, here you are on the GC, it's going to be the same all the way around.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I really like that.
So you see what we've done there, the commonality, you still have the two families. You have the high performance, the performance machine, and you have that GC model. F-Series performance and a lower value prop. So if you're thinking of owning an operating cost, you're operating on an hourly basis, this is the machine for you. It's really going to fit your needs on the job site. We talked in the performance machine, and Frank's operated those performance machines quite a bit. If you're trenching all day or you're loading trucks all day and you want to be more efficient and quicker on the job site, that performance machine is really going to fit with you. Well, Frank, we've talked about we've extended all those positive attributes of the 20-tonner that we launched 3 years ago. Here we are now. F-Series small excavator, pretty good product, but it's reached its limit. Now we have the Hex Small product, the next generation line. I think we've hit a home run.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude the walk around and the discussion about Hex Small or small excavator next generation. Looking forward to getting these products into your hands. Thank you.